Well, I think it could all be sorted by Thursday. That's when there's going to be a board meeting at Manchester United. And that could end up with this proposed deal being ratified. And I think what would then happen is that Sir Jim Ratcliffe would have operational control as far as football matters are concerned at Manchester United. And this would be a first step towards him having full control of the club and buying more shares from the Glazers and also some more of the shares that are listed on the New York Stock Exchange. But I mean, speaking to people in football, this is a very strange development, because if what we're expecting to happen happens, you're going to have a situation where somebody who only owns 25% of a club is going to be calling the shots as far as football matters are concerned. So he could bring his own people in. He could bring in a new sporting director. He may decide that Ten Hag is not the right man to take Manchester United forward. I'm not suggesting that's what he does, but if he has full control of football matters, then he would be making those kinds of decisions. I think when this whole process started 11 months ago, United fans wanted some answers. They wanted some clarity. They wanted to have a future without the Glazers. And that's not what they're getting. Whatever happens this week, even if Sir Jim Ratcliffe comes in and buys 25%, it is still going to be a messy situation. And I fear there will be more questions than answers going forward.
You use the word clarity there, and people will ask the question, well, what changes? Because arguably the Glazers aren't hugely involved in football operations anyway. They sort of leave it to someone like Richard Arnold. What will his arrival mean moving forward?
Well, I think he wants to make big changes, especially to the football side of Manchester United. I think commercially he will look at United and think it's still pretty well run. I think it's not as far ahead of the opposition off the pitch as it used to be. I think his focus is going to be on matters on the pitch. Now, I think that would mean him bringing his own people in. Would he bring in a new chief executive? Would he bring in a sporting director? Would Dave Brailsford, for instance, be involved, who runs the sports operations at Ineos? You know, what kind of experience does he have in football?
Ten Hag ready to welcome Sir Jim Ratcliffe to United after growing frustrated with club's recruitment. Ten Hag is reportedly ready to back Sir Jim Ratcliffe if the Englishman is successful in buying a minority stake in Manchester United, as per the Daily Mail. There were significant breakthroughs in the United sale process over the weekend. On Saturday, Qatar-based Sheikh Jassim bin Hamad Al Thani withdrew his interest after his latest bid was rejected by the Glazers. This subsequently led to Ratcliffe taking a pole position in his proposal of acquiring a 25% stake, which he hopes to build on and over time gain full ownership. United's board will meet on Thursday to discuss the latest developments and ratify Ratcliffe's bid. In regards to footballing matters, Ten Hag has grown frustrated at the club's recruitment throughout his time in the dugout. There has been a lack of clarity over targets and budgets, limited data, and a habit of overpaying for players. It is unconfirmed whether the manager has spoken directly with Ratcliffe, but Mail Sport states that the pair are already well acquainted due to the businessman's ownership of Ligue 1 outfit Nice. They also met back in March at Carrington during the Ineos CEO's tour of United's facilities. Champions League club establish interest in Manchester United outcast Mason Greenwood. Sevilla have reportedly begun targeting Mason Greenwood for a potential summer approach when his loan spell expires, as per the Mirror. Manchester United will likely be open to sanctioning the forward's exit on a permanent basis after the fiasco they oversaw in the summer. The club had provisionally planned to bring Greenwood back into the squad after his charges of attempted rape and assault were dropped in February, but performed a U-turn following severe backlash from supporters. The Sun has stated that Greenwood is open to staying with Getafe, having settled in quickly in Madrid and grown accustomed to his new surroundings and teammates. However, interest from a Champions League club may prove too lucrative to turn down. Sevilla have seemingly eyed a move for the United outcast whose contract expires in 2025. They currently sit 14th placed in the La Liga table, below Getafe in 11th and sit 3rd in their Champions League group after overseeing 2 consecutive draws. Currently, it's unknown what sort of transfer fee the Red Devils would be seeking for Greenwood. He has picked up 1 goal and 1 assist in 5 appearances this term. Milan enter the race for 30-year-old Manchester United outcast. Milan have joined the race for Manchester United star Harry Maguire. Manchester United star Harry Maguire remains a key player for Gareth Southgate's English national team, but has fallen down the pecking order at Old Trafford. The 30-year-old became the world's most expensive defender when the Red Devils forked out a king's ransom to land him in the summer of 2019. However, he has failed to become United's Van Dijk and is at best a moderate success. Maguire, to his credit, has had his moments in a red jersey. However, the inability to perform on a consistent basis and elevate his gameplay to a higher level have contributed to his fall from grace at the Theatre of Dreams. His death knell at Old Trafford was sounded earlier this summer when Erik Ten Hag decided to strip him of the club's captaincy and hand it to Bruno Fernandes. Largely a confident player, the veteran centre-back is at a position in his career where a fresh challenge is needed. Maguire is not getting any younger and will do well to restart his career in a slower league. Serie A provides him with just the opportunity, as Milan have now thrown their hat into the ring for his services. According to TalkSport, the Rossoneri are among several clubs in the fray for the Man United star. The San Siro outfit have helped several stars from the Premier League resurrect their careers and could prove to be Maguire's salvation. Manchester United looked set to recoup £30 million from West Ham United for Maguire last summer, only for the defender to opt against the move. The player is also evaluating his future at Old Trafford, and it remains to be seen if a move to Italy materialises in 2024. Manchester United ready to cut their losses on Anthony Martial in January. Manchester United are ready to cut their losses on Anthony Martial when the transfer window reopens at the beginning of 2024. The Frenchman is currently in his 9th season with the Red Devils, but he faces an uncertain future with his contract expiring next summer. It is now reported by TalkSport that United are actively looking for ways to offload Martial during the January transfer window. The Red Devils are prepared to accept a minimal fee for the 27-year-old who arrived from Monaco in a deal rising to £58 million. Due to his unreliability, United spent big on young striker Rasmus Højlund over the summer. The Dane is now an undisputed starter up front. Martial is currently the backup striker in the squad, and United may not want to extend his current deal, considering his poor injury record. If United manage to part ways with him in January, they could pursue another young centre-forward with the investment coming their way. Erik Ten Hag can breathe sigh of relief after Casemiro injury scare as midfielder returns to training. It was looking increasingly likely over the weekend that Casemiro was set to be the latest name added to an ever-growing list of injured players for Manchester United. The midfielder had been called up to take part in 2 World Cup qualifiers over the October international break, but last Friday he hobbled off the pitch in the 79th minute after requesting a substitution against Venezuela. However, Standard states that Casemiro has since taken part in Brazil's latest training sessions in preparation for their clash versus Uruguay, which is scheduled for the early hours of Wednesday at 1 a.m.